I'm thinking, what use do I have? And then I realized there's one thing the robots can't do. They don't have our relationships. They don't have our experience. So I was just very lucky that over the last few years, I've been actually documenting pictures and videos. Like you and I, we sat down, we had the Brazilian barbecue. That was amazing. So when you have those experiences and you use them, mix them together with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT can help you from a prompt standpoint to come up with the ideas, a framework. Have you guys used ChatGPT and seen our training on how to use it? Yeah, Howard has. Howard, how are you using ChatGPT?
I'm using it to build out bullet points to put up videos. I'm doing daily videos right now, just trying to get into the cycle of doing them, and I'm getting content ideas as well as blog post ideas. I haven't gone so far as to actually have it generate a full article for me. I don't know how I feel about it just yet, but from a helping me to spark the idea kind of concept, it's actually worked out quite well.
I think that's the best way to use it. I think that the noobs are using to try to generate whole books and articles. It's better as thinking, saying here's you can feed in the article that you wrote and say, here's an article I wrote. What key points do you think I didn't address? Or what questions do you think people have after reading this? Or if you were to write a viewpoint that was counter, taking the opposite side, what would you say? So when you use ChatGPT as an advisor, that's when you get a lot more power instead of just like a robot to, write an article about whatever, right? That's not the right way to do it. You'll get busted by Google if you do that.
And as nice as that idea sounds, there's also a question, and again, maybe it's the romantic in me, it's also a question that's still in my head is, what do I bring to the table then? And I have a couple of friends.
The robot's so smart. What do? You're a little self-conscious?
Well, I have a couple of friends that have written articles from ChatGPT where they'll polish and they'll change some phrases and I just haven't gotten to it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I just look at that and I'm like, I don't know if that's really me writing it at that point in time.
I'll give you an answer that will make all of us feel good. Because when I first started using these tools, maybe 2 years ago or so, in different variations, I thought, man, these articles are so good. Like these listicles. Here's 10 ways on how to do this one thing. Like, yikes, and then you use Midjourney, these other tools to generate images, or now we can deep fake videos out of Descript and Synthesia. I'm thinking, what use do I have? And then I realized there's one thing the robots can't do. They don't have our relationships. They don't have our experience. So I was just very lucky that over the last few years, I've been actually documenting pictures and videos. Like you and I, we sat down, we had the Brazilian barbecue. That was amazing. So when you have those experiences and you use them, mix them together with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT can help you from a prompt standpoint to come up with the ideas, a framework, questions, headlines that you inject your experience into, then you have real stories. The robot has no real stories because it's not there in the world. It's just regurgitating knowledge.
Right. No animus, no.
It's not a
disconnect.
Yeah. So Google made a change to their update, to their algorithm called EAT. Who is that? Is that Rachel? I think that's yours. Whatever's going on in the background. Your Alexa. So Google.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
That's okay. Google made a change. It used to be EAT, expertise, authority, trust. And then they added an extra E. So it's EEAT. And the extra E is experience. So why did they do that? It's critical for all of us to understand that. They added the experience thing because they knew that people would use these AI bots to start generating stories and articles about, cybersecurity and what you need to do to keep your kids happy or whatever it might be. But you can spot ChatGPT because it's not using real stories and pictures and video. It will happen in version 4 that's coming out next month, where it's going to get smarter. It's going to get caught up to date. Right now it's 2021, so it's still 2 years behind. So it knows about COVID barely, But when you sprinkle in your story and how you feel and what you've done with other people and something you've done with a client of yours, or something about your mom, or like the why videos that we teach people how to make, when you embed that in there, the robot is no longer a competitor. The robot is an enhancer. It's an amplifier of what you have. So I believe the more experiences that you're able to document, ideally captured on your cell phone, then you pay $10 a month for Google Photos to have it all organized by who it is and where it's from and what the topic is, run it through Descript, have a VA just do that, for example. Now the robot can generate more content for you. So if there were 10 Howards, what would those Howards do? So it's not anyone who uses these tools just to generate from nothing, which is called synthetic media, they're abusing the whole point of AI, and Google can catch that. There's so many, we've got a whole discussion about the different ways that Google's able to catch that. They absolutely can catch that. So the way around it is, instead of trying to fool Google, it's, all right, what stories do I have? What do I stand for? Where can I make 1-minute videos with other people or myself direct to face selfie style, talking about these things, talking about these stories? And then how do I use the AI to make that nicer? How do I use the AI to turn, for example, yesterday I interviewed Kevin Harrington, who's the original Shark, Shark Tank, the inventor of the infomercial, right? What a cool guy. Spent an hour with him, asking him a series of questions. That's a unique experience. I can talk about that. I have pictures and video of me and Kevin Harrington. We hung out in Costa Rica a year ago. We were both at a conference together. And when I take those pictures, when I take those images, when I take his voice, when I take authentic moments together, and then even though Kevin Harrington is a professional speaker, speaks all over the world, fantastic on TV, when I take that raw transcription of the words he says into text, that doesn't work very well for a book. For example, we have Sam Tejada's book that we just finished, kind of like Howard's book. And this is a transcription of all. I had a Zoom call with every one of these industry CEOs, but the people don't talk as crisp as you would have in modern prose. So we go to ChatGPT and say, here's a paragraph, make it so it works as part of a book, or dumb it down, or condense the 5 main points out of this one thing. And so the AI is able to do that for me. If I just wrote a book, How to Win in Modern Wellness, Delivering Trackable Results for Impatient Consumers, like the AI could write the outline. The AI could say, here's IV therapy, here's hormone replacement, here's cryotherapy, here's the role of oxygen, here's peptides, and it could write a chapter on each of those and do that very well. But it wouldn't have the stories of the thing that makes this powerful is that we can talk about Dr. Chris Davis, who's a cardiologist. And when he shut down his practice to start a wellness center, he didn't realize as an entrepreneur that you had to sell, because before he had all this insurance money coming in, he just did stents. He inserted stents into people's hearts all day long. But then when he started his own practice doing wellness, he had to become an entrepreneur, and he nearly went out of business because he didn't realize how much money it cost to open up your own place and hire people and all that kind of stuff. And he told this whole story and how the emotions and the stress, and his wife is like, are you sure you want to do this? And, kind of the struggles of entrepreneurship. And he told that as part of how he moved from just being a cardiologist, dealing with one thing over and over again, to the full spectrum of health, and what he does to be able to learn, and the other people that he's friends with. So he's friends with Dr. Willix, who's the inventor of IV therapy. There's Dr. Haywood, right? He's the inventor of something else that I can't remember, but they're all friends with each other. So all of these guys have stories with each other. The AI doesn't know those stories. The AI will know who these people are. Like here, I'll show you,
Ask you a quick question.
yeah, ask a question.
So like the other day when you made a post about writing a book, you said, it's 5 times the work to promote it once it's done, all that stuff.
Right.
If you did it correctly, you have the right audience. Like I would imagine that post you would use ChatGPT for to help you get that out, but not right. Does that make sense?
Well, you can tell it's the direction that you're giving it, right? The robot's only as good as the instruction that you have.
Yes.
So here, let's say I wanted to write a book about, whatever. Okay, so I asked, who is Dennis Yu? So where's this coming from? Well, now I'm going to say, cite your sources. Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, because it would cite anything too, right?
yeah. Okay. So let's say, um, what is Dennis's dollar a day strategy, right? And if it's something that you've done a good job marketing and socializing, then the robot's going to want to show you a few recursive things.
Is it better to use this too than the like than Playground? Because I find sometimes Playground doesn't, I don't know, kick me off as much, or say it's
Well, there's going to be a
Well-
$42 a month thing that you can pay for here that's coming out any moment now. But you can also, you can see it's doing this thing, but I can go to u.com and go to the chat and say, who is Howard Globus? Cybersecurity expert, owner of IT On Demand. I didn't know you're an active member of BNI Chapter 7. Is that true? And it's got these different sources, but then I can, this is the same kind of thing, right? So then I can say, who is buying the dollar a day course? And what headlines could I use in ads to promote this course? Small business owners, marketers, you know, so it's giving me the reasoning behind it. So I'm really using this tool to help me with my reasoning and my thinking, not to generate the content. See? I mean, it is generating the content, but what I'm doing is I'm getting at the heart of what I'm trying to do, right?
I could tell it like write me 10 headlines and
You could, but then
that
go
deliver
further.
away from pain or whatever. And I don't know, maybe I like 2 of them or something.
What are the main 7 reasons people fail when implementing the dollar a day strategy? See? Spell out the reasons with an acronym. What's a 7-word acronym? Acronym that relates to marketing. It relates to money, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so now it's got to think of a 7-word thing that has to do with money. Lacking, okay. So now it's going to LAC. See, I'm trying to show you there's another level of thinking. See, LACKINC. That's pretty good. I don't even have to think of what the acronym is. I'm like, it thought of one just now. This is actually, these are actually why people fail on dollar a day. Like, then I'm like, Howard, I'm like, wow, this thing knows it better than I do.
Wow.
Damn. It's pretty good, huh? But do you see, like, your ability to use these tools is contingent upon your ability to write smart prompts.
That's what I was actually going to ask for is like, I don't know.
So don't just say, give me 10 headlines or whatever. That's not using the tool.
Oh, no, I've asked it for prompts.
Yeah. For example, I'll say, you know, I'm meeting Kevin Harrington. This is what I did. Tomorrow for my podcast. What are a few interesting questions you think I should ask him? So now it's helping me. Well, yeah. Did you know he's the original shark on Shark Tank and blah, 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 right?
And do you find whatever it spits out here is normally relevant?
Yes and no. I find it's only as good as your ability to ask questions. So now I'll say stop, right? Now it's asking all these basic questions. Now give me, it's recursive, meaning it's this ongoing conversation. So based on its feedback, I'm asking something to go probe deeper. Now give me.
Oh, sure. I just meant how often does it say something like, because maybe it doesn't know who Kevin Harrington is, or maybe it's 40% right or something. Do you know what I mean? That I don't think my question makes sense.
I don't think of it as like it's right or wrong. I think of it as it gets me 80% closer every time.
Yes.
So imagine like, you know, the thing where there's a wall in front of you and you walk halfway closer to the wall and then halfway closer again to the wall. And like you get closer and closer to the wall, but you never really get to the wall. But each time now give me some questions that he probably hasn't been asked. before, because I'm not going to ask them, well, how did you become, the infomercial guy, or what do you like? How do you become successful, and what's your morning routine? Like, I'm not going to ask them those questions, right?
No, of course not. I
And
guess
now it's
I
about
was
thinking-
just
thinking
wondering
about
whether or
thinking,
not,
right?
sure.
Oh, see, now these are better questions, right? Ask better questions, get better answers. But now we're asking questions about questions, which is kind of a weird way to think about it. That's how you use these tools. These are good questions, right? These are way better questions than that other set of questions, wasn't it?
They are, but let's say for whatever reason they weren't this time around. Could you, for instance, say, here's Kevin Harrington's, I don't know, Twitter profile. Read this and come up with questions. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I think I know where you're going with that. All right. So what I do for everyone who's been in office hours for a long time, they'll see that I've got thousands of these pictures and videos and whatever, right? I was in Disney World and I gave the keynote address on Thursday in front of a bunch of educators that are worried about AI making universities irrelevant or whatnot. And I'm capturing all this because a lot of these people won't be known. So this lady on the left here is Cheryl Cattell, and she and I have been friends for 26 years. Back when she ran marketing at Travelocity, if you remember Travelocity,
Yeah.
she helped found Travelocity 26 years ago. And, we've known each other kind of over the years, but we haven't really spent quality time. But I got to hang out with her finally after 26 years. And I took a picture because I thought it was great. And now that it's documented, now if I ask ChatGPT, who is Cheryl Cattell, it probably won't know. Well, maybe it'll know.
But yes, this is exactly what I was
There's
getting
so
at.
little information about her. Like obviously so I don't know who Cheryl Cattell is. Okay, well.
But could you then tell it and say, for whatever reason you were trying
Yeah.
to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you have
read
to feed
Cheryl's
it, so-
profile and suggest gifts in the, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So now it's helping me. Well, can you say something more about who she is so that way I can give you an intelligent response? Because in my database of having scanned most of the internet, I don't really know who she is. Or there could be multiple people with the same name, right? Now she's an icon in the world of internet marketing because, the idea of like booking flights on the internet 26 years ago was a new thing. Now it's like not a big deal. But back then that was a pioneering kind of thing. But because of the relationships that she's had that were offline, they were never captured online. I don't think she's done a lot of speaking. She's done some speaking, but she's not done enough where you could say like, who is Dennis Yu? And it says like all this stuff, right? So what you have to do is, to my point, is you have to capture these moments, because as these moments are being captured, I know this will be picked up by the AI. Within the AI is you've heard about like where ChatGPT is GPT 3.5 and 4.0 is coming out next month. And then once we get to 5 or 6, I know it's not doing it today, but I know by the end of the year, maybe early next year, I can upload everything about me and it will know, and it will be able to work with my experience. I'm not thinking about what ChatGPT or whatever these AI tools are doing today. I'm thinking about where do I need to be properly positioned in 1 year from now, or that's even too far. In 6 months from now, what do I need to have ready now so that when all this other stuff is ready in 6 months, I can be prepared for the AI? Most people, they're just so like reacting to what's going on right now. They're not even thinking about where is this thing going? Here's where it's going. Name a city. Rachel, name any city in the world.
Chicago.
So I've been in Chicago many times, even during the winter when it sucks. Look, proof. I was just there, a couple weeks ago. It's terrible. I'm eating food in Chicago. I'm visiting other friends in Chicago because I fly Southwest a lot, so it likes to make me go through Midway. You can see here, right? Oh, look, I did 75 hard, so I had to take a picture every day. So I was in some airport in Chicago, or I don't know, wherever it was, took a picture. Okay, like 75, where you have to do these, this thing you have to do every day. So here I'm at Facebook in Chicago. This is where they run their agency operations. And this guy here, his name is Jake Paul, but it's not that Jake Paul. It's another Jake Paul. And you can see this is on an Apple iPhone 7 taken in Chicago on the Miracle Mile or wherever their main building is here, Facebook, right? Because all of this is here, I anticipate very soon, if I've collected these moments, and if the system knows, for example, that if it can read, and it can read my Facebook posts. It knows who my friends are because I can pump all this stuff in. So if the AI knows, and if I'm actively loading up the AI today, like here, last night, my friend Suzanne came over and she made these personalized soaps with my name on them, with, you know, the logos on them. That's really cool, right? She said, I want to start a business. Like, I want to come over and talk about, you know, maybe give me some advice on your business. I'm like, come on over, right? She's my assistant. She goes to Costco. She picks me up from the airport. She cleans the house and does my laundry. People think I'm lazy because I don't do my own laundry or whatever, because Suzanne does it. And it's just, I'd rather just pay her because my time's worth more, you know?
Yes.
She came over last night and she said, hey, I have this soap making thing, but I want to be able to sell soaps and work from home and not have to do this. You know, I want to start this business. Can we talk about this? And I said, absolutely. And so I picked up the phone, as you saw last night, and I said, Suzanne, here, you want to play? Let's just play this real quick. Well, look at what, literally with no preps, because she brought over these soaps that she made. And she said, how do I start a business? I mean, Suzanne, just because you're good at making soaps doesn't mean you have a business. So this is what I did. I made this video right here. I'm with my personal assistant, Suzanne. Say hi. Hey. And check out these cool customized bars. You can put logos on them. You can people's names and faces. You can even put offensive logos on this one. And we're selling these. So if you would like to support Suzanne's new small business, making these customized soaps, leave a comment below. Or you can text Suzanne and she'll make these things for you. Now, if the AI is able to ingest all of this, which is not a far stretch of the imagination, what if then I told it at the prompt, now build a website in Shopify where Suzanne can sell these soaps and tell me what price do you think we should sell them at? And because I don't want to say sell these personalized bars of soaps just like we sell our socks with people's face on them, sell them for $12 or something like that. I don't know if that's the right price. I'll say, should I sell, like, what kinds of soap should I make? Maybe like we find for some reason that like the Girl Scouts really like their own soaps, or there's some weird, like, I don't want to try to think for the machine. Tell me, where should I make the soaps? Can you, and then instead of, like today, we would say, give me 10 topics that I can make 1-minute videos on promoting my make your customized soap for your friend's birthday or like your wife or whatever. That's what happens today. But in 6 months from now, I'm going to say, what videos should I make, if any? Or actually, no, better than that. Based on this seed, this input video that I just made, create 10 more videos like this, where it's already saying all of it. Because you know, a Descript, we can have the thing say things I didn't say, right? So Descript plus Chat GPT, right? Is everyone clear on that? That's where it gets scary. That's where you get this multiplying effect, because Chat GPT or whatever AI tool can come up with the ideas and whatnot. But then right now it's just text, which is why it's called Chat GPT. But now it can create the videos. So I don't have to make 10 different videos. It will make those videos for me with my face and deep faking it well enough that people can't tell whether it's real or not. Now we're in January 2023. So you can be pretty certain that this is me actually here. I can be pretty certain that I'm actually seeing EJ right now. But in a year from now, if I'm on a Zoom call, I don't really know if that's actually EJ. It might be some fake generated thing, right? And this is not far-fetched. We are very close to this technology. I believe it will happen this year. So what I'm doing, prepare, is not watch sci-fi movies where the robot takes over the world and it's Skynet and then the Terminators come and kill the humans. That's the movies. The real world from us that are we're trying to grow our businesses and grow our agencies is, okay, given what this AI can do from a tool standpoint, what do I need to do? I need to document my relationships. I need to be like EJ and do a lot of these walk and talk videos when I'm outside, because I know that even though the technology today is not ready, in 6 months from now, I'm going to be able to upload all this stuff and say, go ahead and generate, 5 more things around that same tip on outdoor companies and the mistakes they make. Like, just go ahead and just say it and use this video. Now put me at the top of a volcano, right? And make it this volcano that I was at. Like, just start thinking about this. Like, if I come here and I'll say, because I've been to a lot of volcanoes. I love volcanoes. I love hiking down the volcanoes where you're not supposed to. But why is this not showing? Oh, is it called Volcan? Huh. Why is the volcano not showing up? Lava? Maybe lava. Okay. Now, here's these volcanoes, right? And these, I don't know, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. I don't know where these volcanoes are. Where's this one in? I was in Nicaragua, okay, last year, and there's this volcano. You can see there's lava down there, right? So I could say, make a video of Suzanne and I tossing soaps into the volcano, promoting, you know, our special, or I don't like whatever. It's like, it can generate that, right? We're not very far right now. It's not allowing us to input our whole life story and input everything on our phone, but you can see that it's not very far from being able to do that. That's what we got to be thinking about. What do you guys think? What I see Nick is here, Maria, EJ, you guys certainly have thoughts about this.
I think it's awesome. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities, you know, especially because right now, like I'm trying to maintain and keep up on like the content library and like trying to think of new content ideas and like all that kind of stuff. Like, to be able
No,
to
you're a
use-
worker. That's being a worker. You need to be a leader now, EJ.
yes,
The AI is your worker. Why you don't want to be the worker?
right. And so it just opens up a lot.
You got to think at one level higher.
I'd like to say something. Hi, Dennis. Hi, everyone.
Maria?
I just think this is a very, very, very helpful, useful tool. It doesn't take away everything, but at least it helps generate more content. And I just think it's an awesome tool.
It's incredible. How are you using it, Maria?
I am actually putting up for blog types or also a blog information, and then I'm also putting an outline for newsletters, so various different things. I just recently started doing it, so I'm exploring.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have questions or problems or issues that we could help solve together as a group?
I'm not. Well, I mean, I'm not really familiar with. I'm learning. I mean, I just went on it for the first week this last week. So, is there an easier way to navigate it, or is just?
There's no navigating it. That's the whole beauty of it. It's just like a search box, you know, Google search box.
Words. So I mean, well, I do have a question because once you get to a certain point, you have to have tokens or something like that, or is that not?
Yeah, when either you want to input larger pieces of information to have it digest, then it's token-based pricing, or if you want to build an app. So tools like Jasper, which used to be called like Jarvis, or all these other tools basically that are being licensed, they're all sitting on top of the same engine. So they're just marketing layers. I think I said this yesterday in a webinar on ChatGPT. I believe all those tools will be crushed within a year because the interface is merely you just speak to it. So why do you need all these other tools that specialize in, AI for contractors or AI for real estate agents, or like, you don't need that. The AI is a generalized AI. By definition, a general AI isn't vertical specific. You can ask it to do whatever you want. You just need to merely speak it. So the real power is in the underlying engine. Anyone who tries to put a name on top of it they're just an interface between the engine and you, right? Just like people that sell SaaS software or whatever, they're just building this interface that's a go-between for people that can't write their own freaking code to talk to can't write SQL to talk to a database. Then they create some BI tool or they create some other intermediary tool. Well, if the tool is super smart, you don't need an interface in between it. You just tell it what you want. That's why people love iPhones so much, because it's like, 9 months old kids are using iPads because they just intuitively, they don't need to go through a 3-hour-long training on how to use an iPad. Maybe people my age do, but these 9-month-olds don't need to do that. So I think AI, who is it that made this quote that said technology that is that's sophisticated is indistinguishable from magic? And we are at that point now where it looks like magic, but that it's not a human. That there's AI somehow that's able to answer questions in this clever kind of way, right?
Right. Yeah. When I first went on there, I was blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, I mean, it's not the, I was just blown away. And I did remember, I just, for the fun of it, I said, did 10 ways to, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it just hit 10 ways to outline for a book. And it gave me
Right.
all different, I mean, it was amazing. So
Yeah, but you're just scratching the surface. Have
Oh, I
you seen our training on ChatGPT and how to
Not
use the
yet.
prompts the right way?
I was going to watch it. Yeah,
I think once you see that, I would love to hear what your thoughts are.
I will. I'll let you know. Yeah. I'm gotten really involved in it a lot. Yeah. It's very fascinating to me.
Yeah. I think I've done 10 webinars on how to use ChatGPT already. And every time I'm
Have
learning.
you really?
Yeah.
Oh, there was one, I went to go click on the Facebook and I saw the chat GPT.
Oh, it was the wrong link. Yeah, I put the new link in because I think
Oh, okay. Back in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The new
Cool.
links inside the comments.
yeah,
In the comments. Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
yeah. It's almost a fad. I looked at like when crypto and all that stuff came out, I felt like it was a fad, right? Or NFTs or like whatever the latest fad is. Or Clubhouse was a fad during COVID, remember? Like that was, everyone thought like everyone's just going to move to audio apps. And then Facebook had to build their own version of Clubhouse. But Clubhouse is dead
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
because it was a COVID app. And now people want to actually meet. They don't want to sit around on their phone listening to someone talk. But I look at ChatGPT and some people are saying that this is some kind of fad. It absolutely is not.
I don't agree with
We have to
that.
deal with this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be around for a while.
So we cannot ignore this thing.
No, we cannot. No. Yeah.
I have one question on it.
Yeah.
I been playing with it for 2 or 3 weeks and I saw the clear conversations button. I hit it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh crap, I just reset it. The big question is there's old chats and dialogue. Does that help it learn? I mean, do you want to
Within
keep
that
that? Do
chat.
you want to protect it?
Just keep it.
Yeah.
Besides, it doesn't matter whether you clear it or not, because that's all being used in what's creating a digital signature
Mhm.
so that they can detect it. Even if you cut out parts, there's so many ways to detect it. So yeah, just assume like the government has all of this. I
Oh,
always
yeah.
assume the government has everything. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you delete it or not, it's there. Okay.
I was kind of bummed once I saw it happen, but I didn't know. I don't care about the information part, but I just as long as I didn't know if there's an answer
want it to
that
learn,
it kind
right?
of set me. Yeah, I want it
It's
to
very,
learn
so
me.
it's very limited in the way that it does it processes these little blocks one at a time. So
Mhm.
it like the idea of Chat GPT, which is GPT 3.5, is it allows some kind of memory, but it's not like I can't right now through Chat GPT upload my entire book and say, now write part 2, or now enhance this book, or now tell me, like, you can't do, I could do that if I have an app, which I do. But the ability to import larger chunks of information is increasing. That's why I believe that by the end of the year, we can basically give it everything we have. That's why I think whoever has, to EJ's point, whoever has the strongest content library is going to win, because that gives the strongest seed base of the AI to be able to work with. So if you were, I'm not saying take a picture on Instagram of every meal you've ever eaten, but I'm saying document
No.
when you are with other people that are part of your network that are you're the average of the 5 people you spend the time with. Just make 15-second videos with these other people. Instead of taking a picture, make a 15-second video, because that gives more depth for the AI to be able to go off of versus just a picture, because it captures the tone, it captures the voice. Like there's just so much more the AI can work from.
Okay. Yeah, that was my next question. Is it in the app you can be able to train for your own voice?
It Descript, yes, but not in general
Oh,
AI.
in Descript. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But they all converge into one AI. They have to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, you have to use 6 or 7 different tools to try to make the thing work properly.
Right.
But it's going to start being able to combine so here's the path, I think. I don't know for sure, but this is my guess. One is so from where we are now, one is it's going to extend the breadth of everything it can crawl. So the rest of the internet to be real time, then everything that you have privately, in your iPhone, Google Photos, whatever. So I'm intentionally I'm making a big bet. I'm pretty sure that this piece will occur.
Mhm.
3 is the generation of media in any format, not just text, images, or video, but just like whatever. Make a 3-minute video of me and Jake Paul jumping into the volcano and getting swooped up by a dragon, right? It'll do that. Then 4 is build applications. So it can build WordPress plugins.
Oh
can-
my God, I would
It
love
can write
that.
code, right? It can build. So build me a Shopify store. Well, to be able to do that, it needs to know like my Stripe information, my banking information. It needs to know, some things about fulfillment or, how I'm producing it. But all those things are going to be integrated. And then 5 is just do the whole thing for me. So that's where I think we're going to be in the next year. So I'm preparing for these stages that are coming. I'm like 99% sure that those stages are inevitable.
I have to agree with you. I think there's going to be some point at some level it's going to be that way. I agree.
Yeah. And then stage 6 is the scariest one. It's called UBI, Universal Basic Income. That's when the robot's so smart, 80% of us are unemployed. Not because we're lazy, but just, if I was at Walmart and I scanned
Made redundant.
the groceries on the conveyor belt, or if I was an Uber driver, there's not going to be an Uber driver. The thing's going to drive itself. There's not going to be insurance companies because there's no more crashes anymore, right? Except for people doing dumb stuff. There's not going to be truck drivers. There's not like a lot of those like menial things in the factory. Those jobs won't exist. And those coal miners, they're not going to learn how to be AI programmers. And the technology people say, yes, but every time there's new technology, it creates all these new jobs. Yes, it does. But it displaces the people it displaces are not able to retrain in these new areas. That Walmart, person who's scanning your groceries, that person at McDonald's or whatever, who like you used to tell them what you want, and now you just press the thing on the screen. There's no job for that person.
Well, they already limited some of the stuff because of those screens there. And there's already stuff.
Yeah. I went to a
Yeah.
McDonald's in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, in the airport. And of course, you've seen all the screens, so you don't have to talk to the person. That way they can't mess up your order as easily or whatever it is. But the McDonald's I went to in the Sydney airport was this giant, like halfway see-through cube. It's like this glass where you could like almost see through it. It's like fuzz, hazy kind of. And the top floor of this big white cube were all the robots. And you could see like there were robots inside. There weren't humans there. It was robots that were making all the things on
Oh
the
my gosh.
So you went up to the thing, and then you go to this. We already know the screen where you like press the picture of the cheeseburger and press the picture of the French fry. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. Then it sent the order up to the top floor, and all the machines were doing their stuff. And then your order would just come down one of the chutes and just drop down in front of you, and then you pick up your bag and go.
Like an oversized vending machine.
Basically, yeah. But now, like I was so enamored, I had to do the research on the company that was behind this. Like, damn, this is incredible. The fact
Yeah.
that McDonald's, I thought McDonald's was going to hold off. I knew they've been working on this technology for a long time, but like the minute they're going to drop the hammer is when the minimum wage in California goes to $25 or something like that. They're like, you know what? We can't sell the dollar menu anymore. It's got to be like the $10 value. And so
Right.
what we need to do is, you know what? We're gonna keep the dollar menu because we have all these machines in place.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say, and guess what? So they're never going to do it just with one swoop, because if they do it in one big swoop, then it's going to be like, you guys just hate us humans and you just want to eliminate all of our jobs and you're evil. So anytime you see a change like this that can be distasteful, if it's done in one move, they always add a second thing at the same time.
Mhm.
And the second thing they're going to package in is, because that way it's not just, you have to
Look over here.
what they were, don't look over here, look over here. They're going to say, hey, we have Rachel, what's your favorite food?
I don't know. Chinese
Anything
maybe.
you like to eat, doesn't matter. It's not a trick question.
Yeah. No. No, Chinese food, we'll say.
Chinese food. Okay. So maybe there's a certain kind of Chinese food that's hard to make. It requires a lot of skill that you couldn't get out of a vending machine, that a Panda Express couldn't do. Let's say it's like, I don't know, Peking duck, right? Because Peking duck is very difficult to make because you have to do layers and layers of the glaze and get it crispy. And so if you like Peking duck, you know what I'm talking about. Like if it's done properly, it's a delicacy and it's really expensive because the chef, it takes a whole day because they put a layer in, they bake it, they bring it out, they put another layer, right? It's delicious. And then you have to cut the skin off in a certain way and then have the pancake done just right. Like it's a complicated thing. You're not going to have some $10 an hour worker know how to be able to do this technique, right? Or be able to do like a what's the one Gordon Ramsay has? Not the beef bourguignon. What's the one the beef Wellington, right?
Yes.
Beef Wellington is hard to make. I tried it. I goofed it up. My puff pastry got soggy because I didn't have the beef, like I didn't get rid of the moisture, so like I didn't do it right. Okay. So now imagine you go to McDonald's. I'll just use them as a random example, and they say, hey, we have beef Wellington and Peking duck on the menu, on the dollar menu. Well, why can they do that? Because they reduce the cost of labor to zero because the machine can follow complex recipes. The reason why fast food is limited to just those simple things is it's limited by the idiocy of the people who are assembling the food, that you can't have these complex instruction sets because these idiots, like the teenager who's like worried about her girlfriend dumping her and then the fries get burnt. No, that's why the thing beeps and they have to take the fries out of the oil, right? Now, if the machine can follow any set of recipes, you can make any kind of food that even requires the most complex skill. So what McDonald's and these guys are going to do is they're going to say, technology's come such a long way that now the dollar menu, you can order all of these fancy gourmet kinds of things. And they're going to package that with the fact that, some people are losing their jobs too, because these people, and they'll say, well, these people won't know how to make beef Wellington. So, I mean, if you know how to make beef Wellington and you can work on our central lab in Chicago and helping program machines, we're hiring like crazy. But all these other jobs have gone away because what are these workers going to do?
Right.
They can't make beef Wellington.
Yeah.
If McDonald's offered beef Wellington, I actually would eat it.
I would try it.
It's not the McRib is back. That's not even,
I know.
those lines on the McRib. I was with the CMO of McDonald's at a conference together. Those lines on the McRib are painted on. Those are not grill marks.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh, wow.
I used to love the McRib when it came back, and then Monopoly thing and all that. But whatever.
I have a friend that likes the McRib when it comes back every year. I have to tell him that today.
No, that's like Santa Claus. Don't ruin it for him.
Yeah, true. That's true.
But back to the main point. This AI is moving so fast and it's very interesting, blah, blah, blah. But the bigger point for us, because I think we're a step ahead of everybody else. And I'd just rather be ahead than reacting to other stuff. That's just not a good position to be in. There's the API line. Have you guys heard about the API line and living above the API line or living below the API line?
I think I heard some of it, but not 100% sure.
So the API line, imagine there's this line. It's like you're in a house that's flooding or whatever, and the water level's going up, up, and up. The API line is the current level of technology. And if you think about like a Roomba 3 or 4 years ago, that thing was dumb. It would just bump into your couch and get stuck. And then Alexa is kind of dumb. Well, Alexa and these other ones are intentionally dumb. Siri is dumb. They're actually really, really smart, but they're intentionally dumb. You know why?
Good for people who have them.
Because if Alexa was actually revealed how smart she was, you would not let her listen to your conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think Google has their logo is all like play school, colorful, primary, red and yellow and blue and green? Like, why does Google have those like fun, kindergarten kind of colors? Why? Because when you see a cartoon, then you think it's kind of fun. It's like a kid. You don't realize that behind the cartoon is a raging monster.
Makes sense.
If you knew how powerful Google was, you would be careful about what you put into that thing. So the tech guys know this. And so they've kind of made it seem like it's a play thing. TikTok's it seems like it's some kind of play toy. That thing is so powerful. It's scary. You should not allow children to use TikTok. So what's happening is the API line is increasing. The level of technology is increasing.
Hmm.
So what is it that determines who lives above and below the API line? If your job is governed by a robot, if you're an Uber driver, guess who your boss is?
The robot.
The robot. Is there a human that's telling you what to do? Let's say you're an Uber driver and you're here in Las Vegas where I am today. And, you know, it says, go pick up Dennis at his place and then take him to the airport. And, you know, because I press the button and it says like in 7 minutes, this guy's going to come pick you up. And the price is $23. Like, okay, like I'm just a customer of the robot. And then that Uber driver says, ding, go pick up Dennis. And, you know, here's what to do. And you're going to be paid $15 of the $23.
Hmm.
Well, that driver is technically a freelancer, not an employee, because it's not like he is a manager. So what if that Uber driver is like feeling down today? Or what if his car or whatever broke down, or like there's no human to talk to. Now he's just a consumer, even though technically he's kind of like an employee. That's why the whole SB7, you know, freelancers, are they employees? Should they have benefits? That's why this whole issue is so difficult, because all these people that live below the API line, for example, my buddy Alex is a pilot for Allegiant and he makes good money. But we were finishing golf yesterday. We were on the 18th hole and he got an alert. It's like, got to fly to Cincinnati tonight. And because the system determined that he is a pilot, was, you know, whatever, it just like decides who's doing what, right? So, because we were going to go have dinner, going to have some good Chinese food, like Rachel was saying, but we couldn't. So he, you know, we finished our golf at least. He dropped me off like, well, dang, we'll just have to get dinner this weekend because the robot's telling that guy what to do. So the majority of jobs are below the API line. The API line is moving so fast up that it's just swallowing up all these different jobs. So then people are saying like, well, the API line's moving up so high, will it eventually eat all the jobs? Or what jobs are protected or safe from this? And the only job that's safe for two.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's two. There's one, the people that are programming the robots, which I think is the most powerful position, because if we're leading the technology, we're creating this thing instead of reacting to the thing. So that's why I'm friends with the people that create this stuff. But even then, you know, it can go out of control. And, you know, it's like the Jurassic Park where that one guy's like, yeah, but you can't control nature, or whoever that guy is, you know, the one I'm talking about. And then number two is people that engage in things that are relationship oriented, like therapists or certain kinds of consultants, or where the robot can't do the human level kind of thing. So those are the two areas that are the very top of the API line. So my buddy Kenny Lauer was a CMO at the Golden State Warriors, and he was a great client of mine for 5.5 years until he left to go work on this thing with Tony Robbins, where Tony for the last few years has been speaking to this AI, and this AI is so smart that now if you speak to this thing, you can't tell if you're talking to Tony for real or not.
Oh,
That's how good it is. And
yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
well, think about it, right? And then think about your grandma. Maybe she's not around anymore. Think about, you want to talk to a historian, you want to talk to Jesus. So that's great. You do your daily Bible reading and you pray and then talk to Jesus. And what would Jesus do? It's what would Jesus say? And you know, imagine that's kind of weird. Like you could talk to anyone and who had ever existed, right?
Right.
That's where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating. It's very fascinating to me.
I feel like we are the few people that are aware. I don't want to say like we're woke or one of these sorts of people, but I feel like we have a unique perspective because we work in this technology, and I'm an engineer and I know a lot of these people that I have not seen this kind of opportunity for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I remember the beginning of the internet and when people started to, you know, go America Online and that kind of thing. I feel like that is now happening this year in 2023.
Wow.
And we are like, it's kind of privileged that just a small group of us have access to this and know what's coming, and other people they're just, you know, it's like the flood is going to kill everybody, but we're in the ark, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good thing that we're ahead of the curve instead of behind the curve.
Because none of this stuff is surprising me. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I am too.
Now it's just a matter of taking advantage of it, jumping into it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I had a topic to that I prepared to go through, which is how to audit an agency, but we don't have enough time to cover that. We'll do that next week. Hopefully this is fun. You guys have fun?
Oh, yeah, it was good talk.
Cool. Anything else? I need to get some food. I've not even eaten. I've eaten nothing today except a piece of bacon.
Oh, wow. Good.
Well, at least it's bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It's real bacon. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with bacon.
Love it.
Can I ask real quick? I'm just curious. Is everybody here a digital marketer?
No,
No.
I'm not.
No.
I am for sure.
But we're all the same. We're all entrepreneurs.
Right.
We're all growing for something bigger than us.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm on the other side. I'm the consulting, counseling type side in homes and people. So I'm on the top of the API. We're shooting for it.
That's where you want to be.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I don't want the robot telling me what to do.
Oh,
Awesome. Well, appreciate you guys. I'm glad you're part of office hours, and then share everything that you learn. That's how we grow
I
our
will.
brand. Upload everything to AI and just know that it works for us instead of we work for it.
absolutely. Cool.
All right.
I'll let you know what I think of it after I watch the video.
Awesome. Yeah, and then post in the Facebook group. There's not a
I
lot
will.
going on in the group. That's the best way to have access and be. It's not just this is not a thing you have to attend every week.
No, but I get good information every time I come.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, Maria.
Yeah, I
Appreciate all
appreciate
you
you.
guys.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
week,
Thank
guys.
you.
See you, everybody.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys.